An Adolescent-Teen Youth Mental Health Website Guide. Chapter 1. An Adolescent-Teen Mental Health Website Guide 1. Teen websites at drphil.com/resources/teenagers-resources. Evolve Treatment Center. 800-655-4769. EvolveTreatment.com. Destinations to Recovery. 818-737-2221. Destinationstorecovery.com. Wingate Wilderness Therapy. 800-560-1599. WingateWildernessTherapy.com. The College Safety Zone. 412-373-5667. CollegesOfADZone.com. Scholarship America. 800-537-4180. ScholarshipAmerica.org. Boys Town National Hotline. 800-448-3000. boystown.org. Youth Empowerment Project. 504-522-1316. youthempowermentproject.org. AskTheJudge.info. AskTheJudge.info. Stay Teen. StayTeen.org. The National Campaign to Prevent Teen and Unplanned Pregnancy. 202-478-8500. thenationalcampaign.org. Reach out. 800-449-3000. reachout.com. National Youth Crisis Hotline. 800-448-4663. allaboutcounseling.com/crisis_hotlines.htm #crisis1. About Teen Depression. 866-845-1392. About-teen-depression.com. SUWS Wilderness Programs. 888-879-7897 SUWS.com. Free teen articles at strongestfamilies.com. Articles for teens. Child and adolescent mental health websites. DMOZ-ODP.org. Subcategories. Disorders. Organizations. Treatment. CampMakeBelieveKids.com, Camp Make Believe. Professional and parent resources for managing child behavioral problems and teaching self-confidence and self-esteem to kids. Additional materials offered for sale. Also conducts camps and offers counseling in Las Vegas, Nevada. ChildAdvocate.net/childmentalhealth, child mental health. Addresses mental disorders, behavioral disorders, child abuse, trauma, disaster and advocacy issues. Provides information including original articles and research results. Serves the needs of children, families, and professionals. CMHO.org, Children's Mental Health Ontario. Information on promoting environments that support positive mental health and quality children's mental health services in Ontario, Canada. It'sAllRight.org, It'sAllRight.org. Diaries of 4 fictional teenagers touched by mental illness. Fact sheets, helpline, and information on mental illness including schizophrenia, depression, and anxiety disorders. ProjectResilience.com, Project Resilience. Information, resources, workshops, and products on building resilience in children and teens. Includes several publications on this strength-based approach to education, prevention, and treatment of mental illness. Child and adolescent mental illness websites from DMOZ-ODP.org. Subcategories. Attachment disorder. Autism spectrum disorders. Bipolar disorder in children. Childhood depression. Disruptive behavior disorders. Intellectual disability. Learning disabilities. Neurodevelopmental disorders. ChildAnxiety.net, the Child Anxiety Network. A resource for parents, teachers, and healthcare professionals who work with children who have anxiety disorders. Maintains a list of suggested readings and a treatment provider database. kidsource.com/kidsource/content2/behavior_disorders.html, kidsource, Behavioral Disorders, Focus on Change. Provides information regarding how parents and caregivers can identify and cope with a variety of behavioral disorders in children. psychologyinfo.com/problem/children.html, Psychological Disorders in Children. Defining how disorders are diagnosed by psychologists in childhood and adolescence. Links to information on oppositional defiant disorder, conduct disorder, ADHD, and separation anxiety disorder. Specialyoga.com, Yoga for the Special Child. A program of yoga techniques designed to enhance the natural development of children with special needs. Child and Adolescent MH Organization websites. AACAP.org, American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry, information on child and adolescent psychiatry including fact sheets for parents and caregivers, current research, practice guidelines, and managed care. acamh.org.uk, the Association for Child and Adolescent Mental Health, UK organisation that aims to further scientific study of the mental health of children, young people, and their families, through conferences, meetings and its journals, the JCPP and CAMH. AnnaFreud.org, Anna Freud Center, offers clinical training, research, and therapy services, as well as supporting children, young people, and families experiencing emotional or behavioral difficulties. CARC.org, Child and Adolescent Services Research Center, Children's Mental Health Issues, with a focus on children in public sector systems. ChildTrauma.org, Child Trauma Academy, a not-for-profit organization based in Houston, Texas, seeking to improve the lives of traumatized and maltreated children and their families. Colorado.edu/CSBV, Center for Study and Prevention of Violence, Research, and General Information on Juvenile, Adolescent and Teen Violence Prevention. Infant-Parent.com, the Infant Parent Institute, conducts counseling, training, and research related to infant mental health and family structure. NCTSnet.org, National Child Traumatic Stress Network, to raise the standard of care and improve access to services for traumatized children, their families, and communities throughout the United States. WinMentalHealth.com, Association for Youth, Children, and Natural Psychology, nonprofit promoting non-pharmaceutical strategies and solutions. Chapter 2. An Adolescent-Teen Mental Health Website Guide 2. Adolescent-Teen Mental Health Websites 1. AACAP.org. AAMFT.org/family/consumer_update/adolescent behavior problema.asp, Adolescent Behavior Problems online brochure from the American Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. berkeley.wellness.com/mood/article/teens and mental health. capmh.biomedcentral.com. cdc.gov/healthy youth/adolescent health/publications.htm. centerfor-discovery.com/teen_mental_health.html. childtrends.org. dshs.texas.gov/adolescent/default.shtm. dshs.texas.gov/mhss/mh-child-adolescent-services. friendshospital.com/program/adolescent-unit. guidance-facilitators.com/odd2.html, solutions to oppositional defiant disorder. healthychildren.org. healthypeople.gov. hec.ohio-state.edu/famlife/bulletin/volume.2/bull21.htm, understanding adolescent problem behavior. hhs.gov/ash/os/adolescent-health-topics/mental-health. enrpubs.unl.edu/family/g1322.htm. High-risk youth. jhsph.edu/centers and institute/center for adolescent health. kidshealth.org. mentalhealth.com. mentalhealth.org/resource list/children adolescent resources. nimh.nih.gov. phoenixhouse.org/adolescent residential services. planetpsych.com/zpsychology_101/substance/behavior_alcohol.htm. psychiatrictimes.com/p960237.html, antecedents of personality disorders in young adults. sharp.com/hospital/mesa-vista/program/child-teen.cfm. teenhealthconnection.org/index.php/services/mental-health. teenmentalhealth.org. Adolescent-Teen mental health websites too. Try hashtag 312.2, hashtag 362.269, hashtag 616.89022, hashtag 616.89285-89, hashtag 649.1, RA790.7 and RJ499 RJ506 at the Library for Books about Children's Mental Health. AACAP.org, American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. AboutOurKids.org, information on children's mental health and parenting based on research in child psychiatry. acf.dhhs.gov, Administration for Children and Families. ADA.org, Anxiety Disorders. ANADI.org, Anorexia Nervosa. AttitudeBox.com. Behavior.net, Kids with Behavioral Problems. TeenMentalHealth.org. bpkids.org, Child and Adolescent Bipolar Foundation. ChallengingBehavior.org. Children'sHealth.gov. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/child_and_adolescent_psychiatry. eq.org, Foundation for Education in Emotional Literacy. fcmh.org, Families for Children's Mental Health. healthypeople.gov. kidshealth.org. kidsmentalhealth.ca. bpkids.org, Child and Adolescent Bipolar Foundation. medscape.com/resource/child-adolescent-psychiatry. nmha.org, National Mental Health Association. psych.org, American Psychiatric Association. psychiatrictimes.com. psychiatry.med.miami.edu/child-and-adolescent-psychiatry.aspx. wwilkins.com, Journal of the American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. Adolescent-Teen Mental Health Organizations. American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. 3615 Wisconsin Avenue, NW. Washington, D.C. 20016. 800-333-7636. 202-966-7300. aacap.org. ASAP News. Covenant House 9 Line. 800-999-9999. Troubled Teens. Federation of Families for Children's Mental Health. 1021 Prince Street, Alexandria, Virginia 22314. 703-684-7710. Fax, 703-836-1040. ffcmh.org. Families work with professionals to improve the mental health services for children. National Mental Health Association. 800-442-6642. 800-969 MHA. nmha.org. National Clearinghouse on Family Support and Children's Mental Health. Portland State University. POB 751. Portland, Oregon 97207. 800-628-1696. 800-735-2900, TDD. 503-725-4040. Fax, 503-725-4180. pdx.edu. National Consortium for Child Mental Health Services. 601 13th Street Northwest. Number 400. N. Washington, D.C. 20005. 800-336-5475. 202-347-8600. Fax, 202-393-6137. National Mental Health Consumer Clearinghouse. 1211 Chestnut Street. Number 1000. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania 19107. 800-553-4539. 215-751-1810. Fax, 215-636-6310. mhselfhelp.org. All-around support group providing referrals, resources, and treatment. National Youth Crisis Hotline. 800-442-4673. Society of Adolescent Medicine. 1916 Northwest Copper Oaks Circle. Blue Springs, Missouri 64015. 816-224-8010. socadmed@gvi.net. Suicide and Depression Helpline. 800-852-3388. Teen Help Adolescent Resources. 800-400-4900. Refers teens to resident programs. Youth Crisis Hotline. 800-448-4663. Youth Happiness Websites. National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. 800-273-TALK, 8255. shastacollege.edu/student%20 services/dean%20 of%20 students/health%20 wellness/pages/370.aspx, Student Health and Wellness Office, Shasta College. NewYork.com/199/0/0-little-girls-lose-their-self-way-to-adolescence-study-way-finds.html, less than one-third of girls. ncbi.nlm.nih.gov/pmc/article/pmc3779915, negative results in school. PlasticITYLabs.com/hero-generation, the hero generation. YoungWomen'sHealth.org, Center for Young Women's Health. GirlsHealth.gov, girlshealth.gov. goaskalice.columbia.edu, go ask Alice. healthychildren.org/english/healthy-living/pages/default.aspx, healthychildren.org, healthy living. jedfoundation.org, JED recognizes the emotional difficulty of teens growing up. teenhealthandwellness.com, teen health and wellness. kidshealth.org/n/teen/?wt.ac=k2t_tab, teens health. teenmentalhealth.org, teenmentalhealth.org. Chapter 3. An Adolescent-Teen Mental Health Website Guide 3. Mental health for college students/college mental health websites. Lots of college students get stressed out and depressed. Try #616.8 or RC489 at the library. psychcentral.com/college. ulifeline.org, the ULifeline Network. ada.org, Anxiety and Depression Association of America. mentalhealthamerica.net/life-campus, Mental Health America. healthcare.gov, healthcare.gov. uh.edu/caps/resources/parents_in_college.html, University of Houston's Counseling and Psychological Services. mentalhealthamerica.net, Mental Health America. mentalhealth.gov, mentalhealth.gov. campusblues.com. activemindsuncampus.org, peer-to-peer organization dedicated to raising awareness about mental health among college students. campusblues.com. halfofus.com. sad.org/issues.htm, Students Against Destructive Decisions, Issues. healthyminds.org/collegementalhealth.cfm, healthyminds.org/personalstories.cfm, College Mental Health Stories. kiosk.ucsb.edu/health and wellness/collegementalhealth.aspx, mental-health-matters.com, mhhe.ltsn.soto.ac.uk/resources/disciplines.asp, learning and teaching about mental health in higher education. revolutionhealth.com/conditions/mental-behavioral-health/college-health, safefromthestart.org/pdfs/college_mental_health.pdf, students.usask.ca/wellness/info/mental health, ulifeline.com, mental health for college students, provides students with a link to their respective college's mental health center. Also offers a mental health library. webmd.com/mental-health/news. Suicide websites and resources. 1. Try hashtag 362.28 at the library for books on suicide, or hashtag 179.7 or R726 for books on assisted suicide. AFSP.org, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, 888-333 AFSP. APA.org, American Psychological Association. NIH.gov, National Institutes of Health. NOSTIGMA.org, National Mental Health Awareness Campaign, 877-495-0009. Suicide Pireve Anti Onlyfeline.org, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. AFSP.org, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. AAP.org/ADVOCACI/Child Health Month/previous teen suicide.htm. cdc.gov/nciPC/fact_book/26_suicide.htm. 000help.com, 000help, help suicide life. tinybuddha.com/blog/how-help-someone-without-saying-a-thing. ncsbonline.org/take5.html, 5 minutes how to help. who.in/mental_health/prevention/suicide/prevent/n/index.html. secondlife.com/destination/survivors-of-suicide-project, survivors of suicide project in Second Life. qprinstitute.com. AFSP.org, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. SBRC.org, Suicide Prevention Resource Center. metanoia.org/suicide. youth-suicide.com. familyaware.org. befrienders.org. 4-lane.com/support chat/pages/suicide chat. aacap.org, Adolescent Psychiatry. AFSP.org, 888-333 AFSP, Suicide Prevention. asfnet.org. childsuicide.homestead.com, help for teens.html. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/suicide. freep.com/suicide, suicidemachine.html. mentalhealth.org/suicide prevention. idirect.com/copy/tmplocx.html. infoline.org, 800-203-1234, suicide help. joe@samaritans.org, samaritans.org, talk to suicide counselor online. jedfoundation.org. save.org, 612-946-7998, suicide awareness. suicide.org. sfsuicide.org. siec.ca, Suicide Info Canada. sbsfv.org, Suicide Prevention Services Incorporated. suicidehelpnv.org. suicidology.org. uiuc.edu/ui/csf/count/shb/sui previous. yellowribbon.org, directed at teens. American Academy of Pediatrics. 141 Northwest Point Boulevard, Elk Grove Village, Illinois 60007-1098, 847-434-4000, aap.org/visit/suicideinfo.htm. Depression and Suicide Attempts. American Association of Suicidology. 4201 Connecticut Avenue, NW. Number 310. Washington, D.C. 20008. 202-237-2280. Fax, 202-237-2282. suicidology.org. American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. 120 Wall Street, 22nd floor, NYC 10005. 888-333 AFSP. Fax, 212-363-6237. AFSP.org. National Hemlock Society. POG 101,810. Denver, Colorado 80250-1018. 800-247-7421. Hemlock.org. Membership organization of people who advocate euthanasia for terminally ill people. Johnson Institute. 800-231-5165. Booklet Suicide and Homicide Among Adolescents, Adolescent Suicide. Right to Die Society, Canada. POG 39018. Victoria, BCV 8V4X8. Rights at rights.org. rights.org/deathnet. Books about suicide. Samaritans. 500 Commonwealth Avenue, Boston, Massachusetts 02215. 617-247-0220. Samaritans.org. Suicide information. Seasons, Suicide Bereavement. POG 187. Park City, Utah 84060. 801-649-8327. Suicide websites and resources too. Call 911 or the Suicide Prevention on leafyline.org, Suicide Prevention Lifeline, 1-800-273-8255. afsp.org/find-lost-someone/survivor-outreach-program, Survivor Outreach. afsp.org/find-support/find-someone/find-a-support-group, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. Suicide Prevention on leafyline.org, National Suicide Prevention Lifeline. afsp.org/find-support/I've-lost-someone, American Foundation for Suicide Prevention, Find Support. avoiceattheheadable.org/index.html, a voice at the table. beyondblue.org.au/the-facts/suicide-with-worried-about-someone-you-worried-about-worried-about/language-when-talking-about-suicide, talking about suicide. dbsalliance.org/site/pages over ?pagan name =BMPN_landing, depression and bipolar support alliance. Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. ed.gov/policy/gen/guid/fpco/FERPA/index.html, Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, FERPA. Parents have limits to getting children's school/college records. halfofus.com, half of us. healthychildren.org/English/health-issues/conditions/pages/10-things-parents-can-do-to-prevent-suicide.aspx, 10 things parents can do to prevent suicide. hhs.gov/HIPAA/for-professionals/privacy/laws-regulations/index.html, Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, HIPAA, Guidelines about the release of any medical records pertaining to students. HuffingtonPost.com/Michelle-Leroy-PhD-suicide-B_T-5958356.html, Practical Strategies for Parenting a Suicidal Teen. ISB.info/resources/world_suicide_prevention_day, World Suicide Prevention Day. JasonFoundation.com/youth-suicide/facts-stats, nearly 3,500 high school students attempt suicide. NAMI.org, National Alliance on Mental Illness. NAMI.org/get-involved/NAMI-on-campus/NAMI-on-campus-clubs, National Alliance on Mental Illness. NIMH.nih.gov/health/topics/suicide-prevention/index.html, National Institute of Mental Health. Parentline.com.au/parenting-information/tip-sheet/suicide.php, tips for supporting young people at risk of suicide. sbrc.org/site/default/files/migrate/library/college_sp_whitepaper.pdf, Suicide Prevention Resource Center. sbtsusa.org/parents, Society for the Prevention of Teen Suicide. Suicide.org. Suicideprevention.nv.gov/youth/myths, Nevada Office of Suicide Prevention. Suicideprevention.osu.edu/reach, Suicide Prevention Training. suicidology.org/resources/myth-fact, AAS. suicidology.org, American Association of Suicidology. thetrevorproject.org/resources/preventing-suicide/facts-about-suicide, The Trevor Project and Crisis Services. uhs.berkeley.edu/counseling/prevention-education-outreach/suicide-prevention, University of California at Berkeley. uhs.umich.edu/10things, University Health Service Program at University of Michigan. Learn to value themselves, take care of their bodies. wmh.edu/suicide prevention/basics/facts, WMU Suicide Prevention Program. ymca.net, YMCA. Body image websites. audiosbarbie.com/results, audios, Barbie. discovery-educat-on.com/teachers/free-lesson-plans/changes-of-puberty.cfm, Discovery Education free lesson plans for teachers on a variety of topics, including puberty. thebodypositive.org, The Body Positive. dove.com/us/n/dove-self-hyphen-esteem-project/school-body-image-confident-me.html, Dove Self-Esteem Project. Classroom.kidshealth.org, Kids Health in the Classroom. amightygirl.com, A Mighty Girl. nafaonline.com/dev2, NAFA. thehealthteacher.com/the-puberty-project, The Puberty Project. About-face.org, San Francisco-based group, combats negative and distorted images of women. livescience.com/health/0701002_facial_features.html. feminist.com. feminist.org. mediawatch.com. nowfoundation.org/issues/health/libdkid, National Love Your Body Day. bodypositive.com. loveyourbody.org. girl.com. mysticarticles.com/body-image-articles.html. uastep.tripod.com. audiosbarbie.com, Body Image. Research, Action, and Information Network for the Bodily Integrity of Women, Rainbow. 915 Broadway. Number 1109. NYC 10010 to 7108. 212-477-3318. Rainbow.org. Chapter 4. A Youth Website Guide. Youth Websites. Breakupgirl.com. Collegeboard.org, this is the site for college student hopefuls. Collegege.com. Countingdown.com/fans, get links and reviews of sites that webmaster Glenn Gower finds amazing. Cyberfilmschool.com, filmmaking. Digitalclubfest.com, this site is like the online version of MTV. dsp.berkeley.edu/slcgramhotline.html, Margie's Grammar Hotline. Homeworkhelper.com. Huckleberryyouth.org is a community-based agency founded on the belief that adolescence is a turbulent time. ji.com/ji, college help. Kaplan.com, college. Marblehead.com/guidance/students.htm, this site's for high school students only. OfficialDarwinAwards.com, people who did really stupid things. Onow.com, just feel like chatting? Slanguage.com, learn slang. slc.uga.berkeley.edu/calrenhp.html, study and how to deal with procrastination. StarTribune.com/education/homework/shtml. Everythingcool.com. Flipzone.com is a collaborative website intended to build parent-child and teacher-student relationships by helping kids teach grown-ups. Youth Work, lots of sites and information for youth. Youthwork.com. Contact Literacy Center/National Literacy Hotline, 800-228-8813. Get Hotline, 800-626-9433. Caring for At-Risk Kids. 800-282-6657-X46. Boystown.org. Child Welfare League of America, CW Law at cwlaw.org. cwlaw.org. Louisiana, Our House, 888.442.teen or 318.343.teen. Teen-help.com. Menhotline.org. KidsPeace, 5300 KidsPeace Drive, Orfield, Pennsylvania, 18069-9101 or 610-799-8325. Kidsday.net. National Youth Agency, UK. nga.org.uk. urbanioUTH.org. Youth Crime Watch of America. ycwa.org. Youth Hotlines. STD info line at 1-800-227-8922. Emergency Contraception Hotline at 1-888-0.2. National Child Abuse Hotline at 1-800-422-4453. Youth Crisis Hotline at 1-800-448-4663. If you've run away or need shelter, Covenant House at 1-800-999-9999. For info on a Planned Parenthood clinic near you, Planned Parenthood at 1-800-230-PLAN. Teen Help at 1-800-840-5704. Family of the Americas, 800-443-3395. Family Service America, 800-221-3726. Higher Education/Adult Training Resource Center, 800-544-3284. Parent Educational Advocacy Training Center, 800-869-6782. Parents Institute for Drug Education Incorporated, 800-241-7946. CSAP's National Clearinghouse for Alcohol and Drug Info, 800-788-2800. Division of Family Service Info System, 800-392-1261. Drug Policy Info Clearinghouse, 800-666-3332. Drug and Alcohol Clearinghouse, 800-788-2800. ERIC Clearinghouse on Rural Education and Small Schools, 800-624-9120. Federal Student Aid Info Center, 800-433-3243. Juvenile Justice Clearinghouse, 800-638-8736. National AIDS Info Clearinghouse, 800-458-5231. National Clearinghouse for Alcohol and Drug Info, 800-729-6686. Health and Social Welfare. Active Parenting, 800-825-0060. ACES Association for Children for Enforcement of Support Incorporated, 800-537-7072. Al-Anon Family Group Headquarters Incorporated, 800-356-9996. Alliance for Children and Families, 800-220-1016. American Alliance for Health and Dance Recreation, 800-321-0789. American Bar Association, 800-621-6159. American Counseling ASO, 800-545-2223. American Humane Association, 800-227-4645. American Society for Deaf Children, 800.942.ASDC. Association of Jewish Family and Children's Agencies, 800-634-7346. Center for the Child Care Workforce, 800-879-6784. Child Find of America Incorporated, 800-426-5678. Children of Alcoholics Foundation Incorporated, 800.359.coaf. Children's Hospice International, 800-242-4453. Family Resource Center, 800-676-2229. Families Anonymous, 800-736-9805. Fellowship of Christian Athletes, 800-289-0909. Focus on the Family, 800.A Family. Make-A-Wish Foundation of America, 800-722-9474. Missing Children Help Center, 800-872-5437. Mothers Against Drunk Driving, 800-438-6233. National Abortion Federation, 800-772-9100. National Adoption Center, 800-862-3678. National Black Child Development Institute, 800-556-2234. National Child Safety Council, 800-222-1464. National Child Welfare Resource Center, 800-435-7543. National Clearinghouse on Family Support and Children's Mental Health, 800-628-1696. National Council on Alcoholism and Drug Dependence, 800-622-2255. National Council on Child Abuse and Family Violence, 800-222-2000. National Drug and Alcohol Treatment Referral Routing Service, 800-662-4357. National Recreation and PRK Association, 800-626-6772. National Rehabilitation Information Center, 800-346-2742. New Horizons Youth Ministries, 800-333-4009. Operation Lookout National Center for Missing Youth, 800-782-7335. Parents Without Partners, 800-637-7974. Second Harvest, 800.532.food. Service Corps of Retired Executives Association. SCORE, 800-634-0245. Step Family Association of America, 800-735-0329. Sudden Infant Death Syndrome Alliance, 800-221-7437. The Nurturing Network, 800-866-4666. Tough Love International, 800-333-1069. Vanished Children's Alliance, 800-826-4743. Children's Defense Fund, 800-233-1200. Family Research Council, 800-225-4008. Stand for Children, 800-663-4032. American Humanics, 800-343-6466. Brandeis Center for Human Resources, 800-343-4705. National Center for Research in Vocational Education, 800-762-4093. National Crisis Prevention Institute, 800-558-8976. National Institute for Alternative Care Professionals, 800-996-8847. Nova University, 800-541-6682. Search Institute, 800-888-7828. Youth Change, 800-545-5736. Abortion websites. National Abortion Federation, 800-772-9100. Prochoice.org. Planned Parenthood, 800-230-7526 or communications@ppfa.org. plannedparenthood.org/teen/index.html. Adoption. National Adoption Center, 800-862-3678. NAC@adopt.org. Adopt.org. AIDS. CDC National AIDS Hotline, 800.342.AIDS, 2437, ajast.org/na/. National Pediatrics AIDS Network, 800.646.1001 npan.org. AIDS Info, POB 6303, Rockville, Maryland 20849-6303. 800.hiv.0440. 301-519-6616 outside U.S., 301-519-0459 TTY, 888-480-3739 or aidsinfo.nih.gov. Project Inform, vital information on the diagnosis and treatment of HIV disease. 800.822.7422 info@projectinform.org. projectinform.org. Alcohol and drugs. Al-Anon/Al-18 for families and friends of alcoholics. 800.344.2666 al-anon.org. al-anon.alateen.org. For real marijuana information to teens. 800-662-4357. forreal.org. Narcotics Anonymous information and referrals to local meetings. 818.773.9999na.org/basic.htm or fsmail@na.org. Partnership for a Drug-Free America. Offers persuasive information to help teens reject substance abuse. drugfreeamerica.org/kids_teens. Teen drug abuse, information for parents around teen drug use. teendrugabuse.us. Birth control. Emergency contraception website. Information and referrals to healthcare professionals who can prescribe emergency contraception. ec@opar.princeton.edu. not-2-late.com. Planned Parenthood automatically connects you to the clinic nearest you, but not all clinics answer their phones a day. 800-230-7526 or communications@ppfa.org. plannedparenthood.org/teen/index.html. Personal crisis. 9-line hotline crisis intervention, referral, and information services to homeless, runaway and other troubled youth and their families. 800.999.9999 covenanthouse.org/ninaline/index.html. Child Help's National Child Abuse Hotline counselors provide referrals for young people in crisis. 800.4.a.child, 422-4453, acf.dhs.gov/program/cb/publication/rpt_abu.htm. Safe Youth helps young people get access to a safe place when they have nowhere else to turn. 866.723.3968 NYVP at safeyouth.org. safeyouth.org/teen/index.htm. Depression and mental health. Depression and Related Affective Disorders Association, DRADA, publishes a video and fact sheet on depression for teenagers. 410.955.4647 depressedteens.com/facts.html. National Institute of Mental Health call this number to talk to someone about depression, its causes, and treatments. 301.443.4513 NIMH info at nih.gov. nih.nih.gov/publicat/dep-childmenu.cfm. Eating disorders. National Association of Anorexia Nervosa and Associated Disorders. Offers help for eliminating eating disorders and developing a healthy eating lifestyle. 847.831.3438 anadi.org. Overeaters Anonymous. Members share their problems and solutions to overeating. 505-891-2664 overeatersanonymous.org/is_oa.html. NIDK Weight Control Information Network. Specific information for teenagers who want to learn how to eat better and control their weight. 877.946.4627 niddk.nih.gov/health/nutri-t/pub/winteen. PsyCom Awareness Group carrying on the legacy of Dr. Goldberg. Authoritative guide on the causes, symptoms, and treatment of all types of eating disorders. psycom.net/eating-disorders/bulimia. Youth Gay and Lesbian. Gay and Lesbian Youth Line. Safe, supportive, and confidential counseling. 800.347.teen, 8336. Youth Resource Support, Community, Resources, and Peer-to-Peer Education. 202.347.5700 youthresource.com. Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, RAIN, offers free confidential counseling for victims. Your call is instantly connected to the Rape Crisis Center nearest you. 800.656.hope, 4673, rain.org/about.html. Runaway. National Runaway Switchboard. Free and confidential help for runaways and those thinking about running away. 800-621-4000 info at nrscrisisline.org. nrscrisisline.org/kids.asp. Sexually transmitted disease. CDC National STD/HIV Hotline. Anonymous, confidential information about sexually transmitted diseases and how to prevent them. Also referrals to clinics. 800.227.8922 I want to know. Offers basic information on sexually transmitted diseases and a weekly Ask the Expert session via email. 800.342.2437 iwanttoknow.org/basics2/index.html. Suicide. 9-line hotline crisis intervention, referral, and information services to homeless, runaway and other troubled youth and their families. 800.999.9999 convenanthouse.org/ninaline/index.html. National Hope Line Network. A resource for anyone concerned about understanding and preventing suicide. 800.suicide, 784-2433. suicidology.org/index.html. Chapter 5. A Teen Youth Treatment Center Guide. Residential homes for troubled children. Find a residential placement for an individual. Therapeutic living environments for children and adolescents with behavioral health disorders. The Association of Children's Residential Centers. 648 North Plankinton Avenue Suite 425. Milwaukee, Wisconsin 53203. 877-332-2272. TogetherTheVoice.org. TogetherTheVoice.org/r-members, a list of 7 pages of residential centers in the U.S. In alphabetical order, you have to click the individual link to get the specific website of a place. Some youth treatment centers. WingateWildernessTherapy.com. Wingate. Troubled teens and young adults. TurnaboutRanch.com. Turnabout Ranch. Short-term therapeutic treatment program located on a working cattle ranch. 800-842-1165. FamilyFirstOS.com. Turn_about_ranch. Family First Adolescent Services. Behavioral Disorders in Adolescence. 561-328-7370. WildernessTreatmentCenter.com. Wilderness Treatment Center. Chemical Dependency Treatment Program for Teens and Young Men. 406-854-2832. CenterForDiscovery.com. Center for Discovery. Behavioral Health Treatment for Teens and Families. YouthTransportLLC.com. Youth Intervention Transport Services. Transport adolescent to a safe and fresh start. SafeInterventions.com. Safe Interventions. Adolescent Transportation Services and Crisis Interventions. 877-877-3356. KidsKOOntherapy.com. Kids Count Therapy Services. Privately owned pediatric practice. Schools for Troubled Youth/boot camps. I found ads for Schools for Troubled Youth in Sunset Magazine, sunset.com. Troubled youth generally means on drugs or emotional problems or both. natsap.org, list of schools for troubled youth. teen-boot-camps.com. troubledteensdirectory.com. teenhelponline.com. helpmyteen.net, homes for troubled teens, schools for struggling teens, 866-471-1551. thetotaltransformation.com, teen boarding school. abmlighthousechristianacademy.org. troubledteensguide.com. teenhelp.com/parenting-teen/boarding-school-options.html. thetotaltransformation.com. westridgeacademy.com. military-school.info. knowthetruth.mntc.org, Know the Truth Minnesota Teen Challenge. familyfirstaid.org. selectone.com. yhma.org, Youth Homes of Mid-America, Johnston, Iowa. militaryschools-and-education.info. wilderness-therapy.org. school-placement.com. aspeneducation.com, Wilderness Therapy Troubled Teen SouthAmerica.org. strugglingteens.com/wilderness.php. teen-boot-camps.com. lyahonaacademy.com, Leeds, UT. aboutfacebootcamp.com. newhavenrdc.net, girls. wildernessquest.com. youthranch.org, Idaho. tlcbootcamp.com. teen-boot-camps.com. troubled-teens-advice.com/directory. soberrecovery.com/link/troubled-teen-wilderness-scamps.html. Bureau for At-Risk Youth. 135 DuPont Street. Pub 760. Plainview, New York 11803-0760. 800-99 Youth. Fax, 516-349-5521. info@risk.com. at-risk.com. National Education Service. Pub 8. Bloomington, Indiana 47402. nes.org. Magazine reaching today's youth about educating troubled youth. Adolescent Services Incorporated. 800-965-9450. Free referral service. Anasazi Foundation. 1424 South Stapley Drive, Mesa, Arizona 85204. 800-678-3445. Anasazi.org. Bighorn Basin. Basin, WY. 800-575-7620. basinhome.wyoming.com. Cascade School. POG 9. Whitmore, California 96096. 530-472-3031. CascadeSehul.com. Cedar-mountain.org. 800-748-5368. Setu.com. 800-858-1933. Chilanko Lodge. BC, Canada. 800-229-0772. chilankolodge.com. newhavenrdc.com. 801-794-1218. redcliffascent.com. St. George, UT. 800-898-1244. Red Rock Springs. 888-635-4987. 800-635-4441. rrrdc.com. Sunhawk Academy. 765 N Bluff, St. George, Utah 84770. 800-214-3878. sunhawk.org. sunrise-academy.com. 435-257-1194. teenranch.org. 877-372-3200. turnaboutranch.com. Escalante, UT. 800-842-1165. Youth Care. Draper, UT. 800-786-4924. youthcare.com. Chapter 6. A Youth Crime Website Guide from 2007 at the Dead website www.archive.org/web/2007201817/http/www.criminology.fsu.edu/p/cjljd.php. Youth Culture Websites. lib.msu.edu/harris23/crimjust/juvenile.htm, Criminal Justice Resources, Juvenile Justice. bme.freaq.com, Body Modification e-zine. darkimages.com, Last Rites Tattoo. Dark Images by Paul Booth. Hyperreal.com, Hyperreal. Raves. ncjrs.org/htm/chapter2.htm Number sign trends, drug use by today's youth. interact.uoregon.edu/medialit/homepage, Media Literacy Project. Does TV turn our kids into monsters? schoolsucks.com, School Sucks. Download your homework. adbusters.org/main.html, Adbusters Culture Jammers Headquarters. sci.kun.nl/thalia/rapdict, the totally unofficial rap dictionary. gothic.net/darkside, dark side of the net. ung.com/asg-x, alt.society.generationx. btio.com, baby think it over. For teens considering having babies. ppneek.org, Planned Parenthood of New York City. condomania.com/menu.html, Condomania Online. At-risk youth websites. isr.umich.edu/src/mtf, Monitoring the Future. ed.gov/prog_info/at-risk, National Institute on the Education of At-Risk Students. ncrl.org/ncrl/sdrs/areas/on0cont.htm, At-Risk Children and Youth. nccnch.acf.hhs.gov, Child Abuse and Neglect Clearinghouse. nimh.nih.gov/publicat/adhd.htm, Attention Deficit Disorder. Wholefamily.com, The Whole Family Center. Electricstores.com/Kemp, C. Henry Kemp National Center for the Prevention Treatment of Child Abuse and Neglect. Forensic.nova.edu, Child Custody and Dependency Evaluation. Kidscampaigns.org. auscron.com/gallery, Gutter Tribe. Kids on the Street. sfmoma.org/xhib/wolves/intro.html, Raised by Wolves. Of Kids on the Street. unicef.org/voy, UNICEF Voices of Youth. Youth crime websites. acjnet.org/docs/yopaper.html, Youth Crime in Canada, Public Perception vs. Statistical Information. ncjrs.org/jjhome.htm, Juvenile Justice. ycwa.org, Youth Crime Watch of America. csjoa.org/8study.html, Chronic Juvenile Offender Recidivism. ericir.syr.edu, Eric. ericps.ed.uiuc.edu. Juvenile Delinquency. nces.ed.gov.us. Public Schools. realjustice.org, Real Justice. foxnews.com/news/features/school violence/index.sml, Roundtable on School Violence. ncsu.edu/ncsu/sep/previolence, NC Center for the Prevention of School Violence. csjoa.org/truancy.htm, Truancy, A New Twist. bardo.k12.ga.us/psych/psych.html, School Psychologist's Homepage. ed.gov/offices/osrs/osp/earlywrn.html, Early Warning, Timely Response, A Guide to Safe Schools. Gang Websites. kci.org, Cook Crime Commission. magforce.org, Multi-Agency Gang Task Force. Dade County, FL. wcnet.org/WCGTF, Wood County Gang Task Force. bcf.usc.edu/tilda-alonzo/gang/ganglinks.html, Gang Information. ncjrs.org. atf.trees.gov/great/great.htm, Gang Resistance Education and Training Program. Crime Prevention Program websites. usdoj.gov/kidspage/get involved, Justice for Kids. pta.org/events/viol previous, National PDA Violence Prevention Kit. pta.org/commons-ENSE, National PDA Common Sense. rand.org/publications/mr/mr898, Investing in Our Children. familyeducation.com, Family Education Network. medlib.med.utah.edu/health/ojjdp.htm, Strengthening America's Families. fresno.edu/pac/fam.html, Family Mediation. youth.gc.ca, Youth Resource Network of Canada. lfcc.on.ca, London Family Court Clinic, Ontario, Canada. cyberroad.com/act-react, ACT-REACT registered, to communicate with teens and preteens. triune.ca/rcc4.htm, resolving conflict creatively between victims and youth offenders. pbs.org/law and order, in search of law and order, reclaiming America's kids. tyc.state.tx.us/prevention/40001ref.html, Prevention Yellow Pages. louisville.edu/kcd, Center for the Advancement of Youth, School, and Community Development. youthlink.net. webshaker.com/directory, hotline numbers. vpp.com 80/teenhelp/index.html, teen help. aacap.org/web/aacap, American Academy of Child and Adolescent Psychiatry. bcpl.lib.md.us/sandys/te/school_psych.html, school psychology resources online. aacap.org/web/aacap/faxfam, facts for families. education.indiana.edu/ca/adul/adul.html, adolescence directory online. whitehousedrugpolicy.gov/media/index.html, National Youth Anti-Drug Media Campaign. kci.org/grants/sji_manual/default.htm, project for community-based alternatives for low-risk juvenile offenders. Government juvenile justice websites. ncjrs.org/ojjhome.htm, Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. csjoa.org, California State Juvenile Officers Association. aclu.org. djj.state.fl.us, Florida Department of Juvenile Justice. djj.state.fl.us/rnd, Research and Development. fcn.state.fl.us/eog/gov.doc/capcom/prc/web/juvejust_by-agency/juvejust.html, State Agency Impacts on Preventing Juvenile Crime. state.ga.us/departments/djj, Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice. hhs.state.ne.us/jews/jewsindex.htm, Nebraska Juvenile Services. state.ok.us/tilde/aja/aja.html, Oklahoma Office of Juvenile Affairs. naj.org.uk, National Association for Youth Justice. UK. ncjfcj.unr.edu, National Center for Juvenile Justice. Juvenile Court websites. ncjfcj.unr.edu, National Council of Juvenile and Family Court Judges. ncjrs.org/jjcour.htm, Justice Information Center, NCJRS. DivorceNet.com, Family Law Advisor. pbs.org/williamsburg/justice, Juvenile Justice in the 18th Century. homeoffice.gov.uk/tdyjs.htm, Tackling Delays in the Youth Justice System. open.gov.uk/police/mps/youth/u-011.htm, What happens when an under 16 is arrested? peelbarristers.com/tilde/bis/pages/thead.htm, The Great Young Offenders Act Debate. Youth Correctional and Treatment Program websites. aclu.org/action/juvenile.html, Congress considers jailing children with adults. Rebound.com, Rebound. fsu.edu/crimdu/leuven.html, Restorative Approach to Juvenile Crime. realjustice.org, Real Justice Conferencing. kcl.ac.uk/org/ISD, Institute for the Study and Treatment of Delinquency. UK. fsu.edu/crimdu/courses/jjresearch.html, Juvenile Justice Evaluation Research. kci.org/publication/white_paper/program_eval/default.htm, Standardization of Juvenile Offender Program Evaluation. meetthewilderness.org/main.html, Meet the Wilderness. outwardbound.org/index2.html, Outward Bound. nasi.org, National Association of Homes and Services for Children. ysii.com, Youth Services International Incorporated. csjoa.org/index.htm, California State Juvenile Officers Association. info.utas.edu.au/docs/ahugo/ensi/monitor.html number sign Youth Monitor. cais.net/nonprofit/html/search.html, internships in youth development agencies. Youth crime websites. abanet.org/crimjust/juviju/home.html, the American Bar Association's Juvenile Justice Center. ncjrs.gov/apps/topics/topic.aspx?topic ID =122, Juvenile Justice section of the ncjrs.gov/index.html, National Criminal Justice Reference Service. childrennow.org, Children Now. childrensdefense.org. law.fsu.edu/academic_program/jd_program/cac/initiatives.html, Children in Prison Project. cliaweb.org, Clinical Legal Education Association. childquest.org, Child Quest International. edequity.org, the Educational Equity Center. boysproject.net. cya.ca.gov/divisionsboard/djj/index.html, CDCR website at this link. saurus.org/initiatives/articles_publication/public_youth_20011001, public opinion on youth. iir.com/nygc/faq.htm, frequently asked questions page on gangs from NYGC. prisonlaw.com/cases.php number sign Ju6, Prison Law Office. pfi.org, Prison Fellowship International website. americanradio.works.publicradio.org/features/gambling, logging on and losing out, dealing addiction to America's kids. aspi.hhs.gov/_index.cfm. atf.trees.gov. cjcj.org/link/index.php number sign JJR, CJCJ's list of juvenile justice resources. cjcj.org/pdf/waiver_of.pdf, waiver of juveniles to adult court. crf-usa.org/link/cja/cja_ch20.htm, a compilation of waiver links. fsu.edu/7ecrimdo/jj-clearinghouse/jj-clearinghouse.html, FSU's Juvenile Justice Clearinghouse. hrw.org/doc/?t=children_pub, Human Rights Watch's length list of publications on children's rights from around the world. iir.com/nygc, National Youth Gang Center. ilo.org/public/english/standard/IPEC, International Program on the Elimination of Child Labor. missingkids.org, National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. naacp.org/inc/docs/convention/convention_workshop_prison.pdf, NAACP Juvenile Justice Resource Guide. ncjrs.org/html/ojjdp/National Report 99/toc.html, National Report on Juvenile Offenders and Victims. nordicom.gu.se/clearinghouse.php, the International Clearinghouse on Children, Youth, and Media. pfi.org/publications, Restorative Justice, an annotated bibliography. psy.utmb.edu/violence/island/island.htm, Island Youth Programs Texas. researchforum.org/project_general_28.html, Fragile Families and Child Wellbeing, at the Columbia School of Public Health. streetgangs.com, gangs in Los Angeles County. surgeongeneral.gov/libraries/youth-violence/uvioreport.htm, Youth Violence, a report of the Surgeon General. uc.princeton.edu/main/index.php?com_content_task=sign view&ID=138 Juvenile Justice Policy in the 21st Century Lawrence Steinberg, Prof. unicef.org/publication/files/the_state_of_worlds_children_2009.pdf, State of the World's Children. usdoj.gov/kids page, National Youth Network. verlib.ncjrs.org/juvie.asp category =47 subcategory =71, Juvenile Justice General Research Topic Area. verlib.ncjrs.org/juvenilejustice.asp, Juvenile Justice from NCJRS. youthcourt.net, the National Youth Teen Court page. youthranch.org, Idaho Youth Ranch. Chapter 7. A Youth Medical Website Guide. thenationalalliance.org, the National Alliance to Advance Adolescent Health. The National Alliance to Advance Adolescent Health. 1615 M Street, NW. Suite 290. Washington, D.C. 20036. 202-223-1500. Teen Medical Websites / Adolescent Health Websites. mayoclinic.com/health/teens-health/tn99999, Teen Link, Guide to Resources on Teen Issues. nhs.uk/liveul/student health/pages/student health home.aspx, Student Health Guide. health.williams.edu/files/student-online/home_so.html, Student Self-Care Guide. bam.gov, Body and Mind, Health and Safety from CDC. youngmenshealth.org. youngwomenshealth.org. teenspeak.org. teenhealthcenter.com. twitter.com/$!youngmenshealth. facebook.com/pages/young-men's-health. aacap.org, Adolescent Psychiatry. acog.org, Obstetrics Gynecology. acog.org/about_acog/resource_departments/web treats_aduel_ped_health. adolescenthealth.org. adolescenthealth.org/youth_sites.htm. advancedpediatricassociates.com/pediatric health library/adolescenthealth.asp. aug.net American Medical Association, Adolescent Health. aug.net/assets/library/74_ adolescent healthcare101.pdf. cdc.gov/healthy youth/YRBS, Youth Risk Behavior Surveillance System, YRBSS, a system used to monitor 6 types of health risk behaviors that contribute to the leading causes of death and disability among youth and adult. alexandriava.gov/Teen Wheelane Center. ama-association.org/pub/physician-healthy-healthy-lifestyle/adolescent-health.page. atlantic-health.org/gore-eb/r+sign services/adolescent+sign medicine/learn/learning+sign about+sign adolescent+sign medicine. californiateenhealth.org. cdc.gov/family/kidsites. cdc.gov/healthy-youth/adolescent health. cdc.gov/ncbddd/child-development/links.html. childrenandteens.com. childrenshospital.org. childrensmercy.org/adolescent medicine. dhs.wisconsin.gov/teen pregnancy/research/weeblinks.htm. doh.state.fl.us/family/tpp. drgreen.com. dshs.state.tx.us/adolescent/resources.shtm. dshs.state.tx.us/adolescent/teens.shtm. girlshealth.gov. health.com. health.gov.au. health.state.mn.us/youth/topics/forteens.html. healthcommunities.com/teen-overview-of-teen-pregnancy.html. healthcyclopedia.com/teen-health.html. healthypeople.gov. healthyteennetwork.org. hhs.gov/ash/oa. inpeds.com/patient-education/adolescent-health. jhsph.edu/research/center-and-institute/center-for-adolescent-health. keepkidshealthy.com/adolescent/adolescent.html. kidshealth.org. kidshealth.org/teen. kidshealth.org/teen/your_body. kingcounty.gov/health-services/health/location/teen-clinics.aspx. learnforgood.com/health/teen_health.htm. library.uams.edu/resources/teen-resource-and-health-information.aspx. mayoclinic.com/health. med.umich.edu/yourchild/topics/teen-previous.htm. medicinenet.com/teenagers/article.htm. medpedia.com. mountsinai.org/patient-care/service-areas/adolescent-health-center. ncbi.nlm.nih.gov. nhs.uk/levuel/teen girls/pages/teengirlshome.aspx. nimh.nih.gov/health/topics/child-and-mental-health/index.shtml. nlm.nih.gov/medlineplus/teenage-pregnancy.html. nlm.nih.gov/medlineplus/teenhealth.html. nlm.nih.gov/medlineplus/teenmentalhealth.html. oakwood.org/teen-services. pamf.org/teen/health. peerhealthexchange.org/teen/Boston. psychcentral.com/resources/cool. sciencedaily.com/news/health_medicine/teen_health. seattlechildrens.org. seattlemag.com/article/adolescent-medicine-raising-healthy-teens. statmyweb.com/s/adolescent-health. tampax.com/teenage-health. teenagehealthfreak.org. teenhealthclinic.org. teenhealthconnection.org. teenhealthfx.com. teenhealthissues.org. teenhealthlaw.org. teenmentalhealth.org. teenpregnancy-ct.org/resources.htm. teensites.student.com. uvahealth.com. womenshealthcaretopics.com/teen_health.htm. youngwomenshealth.org. healthcare at college/college health. College health is a field of medicine that deals with the medical care of college-age students. Most colleges have some sort of student health service on campus. campushealthhandsafety.org. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/college-health. aap.org/featured/health-college.pdf. acha.org, American College Health Association. en.wikipedia.org/wiki/college-health. Healthcare in schools. healthinschools.org, the Center for Health and Healthcare in Schools. nasn.org, school nurses. academyhealth.org. acha.org, American College Health Association. aea14.k12.ia.us/swp/tadkin/nasnc/nasnc.html, National Association of State School Nurse Consultants. aft.org/topics/school-nurses/index.htm. ashaweb.org, American School Health Association. csno.org, California School Nurses Organization. msno.org/retired.html, Massachusetts School Nurse Organization. NASND.org, the National Association of School Nurses for the Deaf. NIASN.org, New York School Nurses. OSHNA.org, Overseas School Health Nurses Association. RICSNT.org, Rhode Island Certified School Nurse Teachers Incorporated.